Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, we saw the launch of Season 3 in Warzone and Modern Warfare 3 yesterday, and per usual with a major seasonal update, while it did introduce Rebirth Island and new weapons and new maps and modes, it also introduced several new bugs, glitches, some game-breaking things. So over the course of the past 24 hours or so, we've seen a handful of new updates go live. Some of them more so like emergency updates because it was making the game borderline unplayable. So we got a lot of sort of mini patch notes to break down a couple of other things I wanted to point out in regards to the update. But pretty much all the info that we have here today stems from Call of Duty updates over on Twitter or X. And initially here they did post saying new updates out for MW3 and Warzone. We're aware that preloads on Battle.net are not working as intended, or just general downloads on Battle.net were not working yesterday, resulting in the full download for the update being required. The important thing here is that you should now be able to go through. There were a lot of issues on Battle.net yesterday where the download would get stuck at 100%, and then you just have to wait and wait and wait for it to actually go through. But what's important, like I said, is they say we are investigating the cause to address this for future updates. So when we get to Season 3 Reloaded, Season 4 Reloaded, potentially any random one-off title updates that we might be able to download in between then, there should not be the same issue here, which is obviously good if they can actually get that fixed, because I know there was a lot of downloading issues yesterday, specifically with Battle.net, which usually always seems to have trouble when there's major seasonal updates because of how many people are downloading it at once, I would guess. But anyways, moving on, COD Updates also says new updates out for Warzone. We are investigating an issue preventing match and weapon data from tracking properly in the in-match stats panel and after action reports. So you might have saw that yesterday in the patch notes, they said, hey, new quality of life update, new feature in-game. You can now go through and actually see your in-game stats, but per usual, it's a brand new feature and it did not launch seamlessly. That tab does not work correctly right now, so they are looking into that, and that should be updated and actually fully functioning at some point here in the relatively near future. They also say a new update for MW3 ranked play. The new Season 3 perks and equipment are unintentionally available in ranked play and will be restricted in a further update. So for those already on that Season 3 ranked play grind for multiplayer, you'll notice that some of the new things that were introduced with Season 3 might pop up here and there. That's not supposed to happen. They are going to fully restrict that stuff, so it just won't be usable whatsoever. So just a heads up if you're wondering why that's in there and you're not liking how it feels in like the competitive meta that they've got going on for multiplayer specifically, good chance that if it's from Season 3, it's not going to last very long. They also say new updates out for Modern Warfare, not zombies, but zomibs. The successful exfil end of match flow mentions the unreleased exfil schematic cooldown mechanic. So if you've gone through and done some exfils, you might notice that it's popping up saying, hey, you're getting a cooldown here. But this is not actually in the game yet. When I was a part of the dev call for Season 3 a couple of days back, they did mention some new features coming with Modern Warfare Zombies, including ability to actually have a cooldown on various different schematics when you go through an exfil, and also an expansion of the stash from 10 slots to 20 slots. But those features are not yet in the game. It just was an accident that part of the code for it was obviously included in the Season 3 update, and that's why you're seeing references to it now when you do go through that end of match, segment there, I guess you could say, where it lists, hey, you did this, exfilling with this. That is not something that's actually working yet, but it will be a part of a future update. I would imagine probably Season 3 Reloaded. And by the way, as we are going through all the updates and changes here, if you are new to the channel, or if you simply just haven't subscribed yet, let's change that, because every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, really everything going on in COD you'll find right here. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications to never miss a video. And if you enjoyed this one, do me a favor and drop a like on it. As always, much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. Now, this is a very, very important one, probably the most emergency-like update for the day, because, well, it was basically stopping players from playing the game in general. Initially, COD Updates posted saying, hey, we're aware for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, we're investigating a fix for an issue that is causing players to encounter a black screen when attempting to launch the game or while navigating the menu. So you just straight up could not get into the game. You'd boot up and the black screen would just never go away. Didn't matter if you uninstalled and reinstalled, if you rebooted, anything like that. It was super problematic and happening across all platforms. some on PC, some on consoles, so on and so forth. But good news here, late last night they did post, new update is now out for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. We've deployed an update to address an issue causing some players to be stuck on a black screen. Impacted players are encouraged to restart the game in order to download the update and resolve this issue. So if you were having this problem yesterday and you couldn't actually get onto the game and you just kind of gave up for the day, as of today you should boot it up. You'll get the update requires restart. Or if it's anything like yesterday, you'll get 7 different update requires restarts in the span of like 5 minutes, but then you'll be good. You'll be able to play the game and it won't be stuck on that continuous black screen. You can actually get into the menus and things will function as intended. So it wasn't nearly as bad of a game-breaking issue as some of the other seasonal updates, you know, where the servers are offline and everyone's showing up as a level 1, but still something that was impacting a ton of players and not allowing them to actually play the game. So really nice to see that they got that fixed out relatively quickly. Now, alongside some of the in-game updates obviously stemming directly from Call of Duty themselves, we've actually discovered that some of the updates mentioned in yesterday's patch notes aren't fully live, it would seem. True Game Data, Tony, the man, the myth, the legend, the Warzone wizard when it comes to data and information, was doing his usual post-update testing, going through all the weapons and seeing, okay, did this actually get changed by this many values? Did this actually get nerfed here? Did this get buffed there? And when he was going through, he said this: some of the changes listed in the patch notes seem to not have gone through, which is kind of concerning. He then follows it up and says, I haven't checked everything yet, but 2 mistakes in the patch notes so far. The HCR has 2 drop-offs and neither of them line up with what's listed in the patch notes. And 2, the Bruin has not been changed from before the patch, still the same damage at long range. Now in the patch notes, the HCR, its max damage range was supposed to be increased by a few meters, and with the Bruin, its minimum damage, so its long range damage, was supposed to be decreased by 2 and kind of hurt that long range TTK. But surprise, surprise, MW2 weapon updates not working as intended, and that's just what we've discovered so far and what Tony has found throughout his testing. There could be other things missing or other secret things added that we're going to have to wait and see as new testing and new data, you know, comes to the surface. But very interesting that some of the stuff from the patch notes is actually not working as intended, but in an inverse way of it's not breaking the game, it's just not live. Also on the Trello board, we did see a couple of other additional things listed here that COD updates didn't initially post. They do say with global issues right now, if you go into the gunsmith and you remove any attachment, it's going to say, hey, your underbarrel is incompatible, or hey, your stock's incompatible. And when you go to remove an optic or a magazine, it then deletes your underbarrel or deletes your stock, and then you just have to go through and re-put those on. It's not, you know, actually restricting those attachments, it just briefly removes them, and it's obnoxious to have to go through and re-put them on, but they are aware of that. They are investigating that there, so good news with that one. And then also on the Warzone side of things, map distortion. We're aware of an issue causing distorted geography in Urzikstan. This has been going on for some time, especially with like the low res issue where the ground kind of just looks like Play-Doh. None of the trees or bushes render in properly. I know in zombies now, like the whole ground glitches out and you can kind of see under the world, and you actually have to crouch under the world to be able to shoot anything because the ground is glitching and blocking your sight. So yeah, there's a lot of visual bugs going on Urzikstan across the board right now, and again, that is one that they are going through and investigating here. So handful of new updates already out now over the past day or so, a lot more that they are looking into, and as we see new updates go out, new patch notes drop, you guys know I'll have you covered with all the details right as it happens, so stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.